Howdy and aloha. Welcome to Manata. The earth and you are ohana. We hope you stay and talk.
Howdy and aloha, everybody. It's James with Monotalk. I was going to try to start the show on Memorial Day, on May the 29th, but I just got a lot of stuff going on. Um, and there is a lot of stuff going on. So it's now May 30th. Happy Memorial Day weekend that hopefully everybody had and enjoyed their time with their family. And also, um, it's hard to say celebrate, but remember all those millions of soldiers and civilians that lost their lives. And you have to think about not just us, because we have allies and people that have fought for their rights and their freedoms, our democracy. But it's important for people to understand that there's just we don't need we shouldn't have Memorial Day. I mean, how do I say that? I mean, if the military industrial complex, and look it up, Smedley Butler, war is just a racket, which he had clearly indicated. It's just about money. It's about feeding the coffers of the military industrial complex. I mean, the greatest, most well paid, well given health care on the planet is the military industrial complex companies out there that are unionized, the union for them. I don't know the name off the top of my head. I know I've looked into it before. But everybody should be paid well. Everybody should be taken care of. But if your industry was getting on an average of $680 billion a year from your own tax dollars or from made up money, it seems like these days, since 9/11, 2021, on an average, $680 billion a year, your industry, right? How much did the restaurant industry get? Excuse me, hospitality industry, hotels, restaurants, theater, maybe, I'm not sure if that's included. Probably a billion, maybe a year, and not even that, because they're kind of self-sufficient in a sense. How much did farming get, right? How much did the farmers get? How did the ranchers get? How did the cattle ranchers and the people that provide us with our meat and poultry and fish, how much did they get, right? Imagine those workers getting that money. I just really want you to think about that. Imagine, because they probably got like 1.5 billion or 2 billion. I don't think it's ever been over like 5 billion. But imagine if they were the focus, right? Imagine if other industries that were more important and pertinent to making sure, like the water industry, that making sure that our water isn't full of poisons and chemicals and isn't tainted by other poisons and chemicals externally from industries out there, like Dow Chemical and oil, coal, gas, and stuff that leak stuff. But if there was more effort on making that safer, providing better pay for those industries, just other industries that could really benefit our health and livelihood completely, instead of putting all our focus. I mean, I could show you the graph. You look it up. How much does the military industrial complex get? compared to all these other industries that are provided for out there. You could, and you'll see it's fucking amazing. It's just literally topsy turvy, lopsided. Shouldn't be that way. It just shouldn't be that way. It should be, take care of our cattle ranchers, take care of our, make sure they're well taken care of, the all grass fed, because they're just constantly trying to cut costs to make profits. And when you cut costs to make profits, your product becomes weaker, right? And that's usually the case. I it's amazing. It's just amazing in the direction that we've gone. Because I believe, well, maybe I need to study that a little more. But let's say 100 years ago, how much money did we need to put into the cattle ranchers and the farmers and the produce and all that stuff? I mean, if you could get paid $25 an hour to go out and pick strawberries, would you do it? Yeah. Fucking right now. Put me out there. I'd fucking do it right now. And I'd have. You see what I'm saying? I think you guys understand this. So I want there to be a remembrance, of course, of those that lost their lives for our country and that served. Personally, I don't know anybody. It's really kind of weird. Maybe an uncle that died on the maritime. I'm trying to remember back. But I'm sure there are people out there that have a close relative or in the same, family direct unit that maybe may have lost, and I, God bless them and their sacrifice. But it really wasn't necessary, and I hate to say that because there's a lot of things that were created that this is hard for a lot of people to absorb, that shouldn't have even happened. And I've always looked at the example of there's a restaurant villa in Europe, and I'm trying to remember. I think it's Swedish, Denmark. It's just a few countries where they paint the lines of the countries, and I think there's three that come together in a triangle, three or four. And there's a city there that has these outside dining and just patios with tables and waiters and waitresses and serving food and whatever. But on the ground, on these cobblestones in this old town, and I wish I probably should have presented the picture, but you can look it up. It's just paint. It's just paint, which is maybe 1 millimeter to 2 millimeters high. It's not a wall. And they're just eating food. And you could actually, talk to the other person on the other side of that line of paint that's maybe 6 inches wide, right? That indicates where the line is, cutting each country from the other country, each country or nation from the other one. It's just paint. I understand the border wall crisis right now, right? And that kind of gives me to the border wall. But let's think about that for a second. Do you think the 99.9% of the people on this planet want to fight, shoot, kill, and hurt somebody's family on the other side of that wall? Do you think those people on the other side of the wall want to damage or do, a majority of them? There are some that are probably, bad, the drug dealers, probably assets or insurgents or spies or who fucking knows, which is the biggest issue with that. We don't know who's what or what's what, and maybe we do. It's hard to tell these days. But do you believe that the 99.9% in a whole want to fight each other? Do you believe that that Mr. Martinez and Mr. Smith and Mr. McConnell and Mr. or Mrs. or whatever, in Ireland or Uganda in Africa or somebody, a part of the 99%, not a part of the bureaucracy, not a part of the government, not some part of some big corporation. The working poor, the middle class, the people that are just, working to survive and make it and provide for their families. And, they go to their, you know, gathering places for their religions, which is their prerogative, whatever, which one they want to, and whatever makes them feel or have purpose, usually, is the reason for that. Unity is wonderful and it's always important. But do you really believe they want to fight you? They want to hurt you? I don't. I don't. I know you've seen videos, and I've seen them on TikTok, or what some of these punks will say just to get, you know, likes or whatever, and they could be being staged. We don't know. Threatening the United States. Yeah, the border needs some security, that's for sure. And the only reason why that is right now is because we've made so many friends in the past few decades. Forever. We have bases, like 800 something bases, close 800 to 1,000, I'm not sure, all over the country, where we're bringing democracy to everybody. Because we're supposed to be policing the world, which is not the case. It has nothing to do with policing. It has to do with resources, money, power, control. That's it. And you know this. Most people understand and know this, right? But does it come from the 99%? That's what I'm saying. Does it come from, Mr. Family Member who has kids and families that's just trying to find a better way of life for themselves? Yeah, and yeah. There are people out there that have different reasons to have workers that come across the border. My grandfather had a avocado ranch for 29 years, and he couldn't find anybody to pick those avocados except for me, dumbass, grandkid me. I would come in every weekend. We'd cruise out. We'd do hunting in northern San Diego. We'd hunt quail, try to find a deer or whatever, you know. And then we had his avocado ranch, and I used to pick avocados. And when I started working there, I think he got it when I was about 7 or 8 years old. And then he just had it for a long ass time, like almost 20, almost 30 years. And I'd go up with him when I was around, and we moved around all over the place. But when I was around, I'd go with him during the summer, and I would work with the Mexicans. And I started working with the Mexicans probably when I was about 10 or 11. And I remember, and I dug a few ditches and I picked a few avocados, but nothing like what these guys were doing. I remember, I thought I could swing an axe or a pickaxe, and I thought I could shovel and make a ditch pretty damn good at the age of 10 or 11. I thought I was a badass. And then I went and worked. I think I was like maybe 11 or 12 at the time. And then he said, okay, well, I'm going to start paying you then. If you want to be. And he would pay me anyway for odd jobs and tasks, which was awesome. He didn't have to. I just like spending time with my grandpa. It was fucking amazing. So I would dig a ditch at 7 a.m. starting. It was a foot deep, 6 inches across. And I had to make this ditch so we could lay our new PVC pipe, because the old PVC pipe was getting crappy. He wanted to put in a better system, which, there's all kinds of stuff going on with the ranch. So I did. And I'm doing it. I've got like 10 feet done, and I'm just amazing, kicking ass. I'm looking at it's perfect. It's supposed to go a certain slope. So some of the areas might be a foot and a half to 2 feet, because you have to keep that drain a certain way, or not drain, but the flow. So you don't want to get too kinky, right? You want to make sure it's fairly straight. Anyway, I got about 10, 12 feet done. And he comes up, and it's about an hour and a half into the job. I go, yeah, what do you think? What do you think? I'm all proud of myself, He goes, good, good. Let me show you something. It's like, what? So we go like a couple groves over, and there's Juan, and that's his son, who's just a little older than me, like a couple years older than me. And then the other Juan, senior, is up. No, it's Jose. Up a few groves up. We've had a few guys. Most of their names are Juan or Jose. Anyway. And and he goes, what do you think? And I look at it, and this guy's got like 60 yards done. Perfect. Just amazing. We started at the same time. You know, this is his kid, and then we go to his dad, and he's got like another 20 yards done, like 70 yards done in an hour and a half. I'm like, how is that even possible? Did they bring in a fucking machine? What the fuck just happened? Well, they work hard. I will tell you, it's a fucking amazing. And I'm out there in shorts and a tank top, and it's like 88, 90 degrees. They're in their fucking corduroy pants and long sleeve shirts, and like still wearing a jacket, right? And it's like, for them, it's like farting. For me, it's like climbing Mount Everest. Now, the reason why a lot of people in Southern California love these workers, to some, they're called wetbacks. They're just workers to me. They do a lot of work very inexpensively. So instead of my grandfather having to pay twice as much to get somebody who could probably do twice as less, he's paying half as much and getting twice more. So it's amazing. It's amazing. And the problem that I didn't realize afterwards, with the whole thing, was that the money that they make was going back to Mexico. But then I did the numbers, and it's not a whole bunch of fucking money. It's not like it's nothing compared to the $680 billion a year, you know, that the military industrial complex is getting per year. Keep in mind, the military industrial complex, most of that money, I'd say all of it, doesn't go to the E1 and E2 kids. To me, they're kids. The young soldiers that might have a new family that are now using food stamps just to make ends meet, or SNAP, or some kind of government program, because they're not getting paid enough. They're not getting paid enough. I mean, even living on base with a family of one or two at the age of 19, 20, 21, 22, whatever, it's tough. Because I did it. I was in the Navy, right? And I was on food stamps. And I was on WIC and any program they can give us to raise my daughter and provide for my family. Right? So none of that money goes to the actual people that are fucking fighting these wars. It's amazing. They're like $12,000 for a fucking toilet. I'm gonna say it again: $10,000 to $12,000 just to put in some toilet somewhere with some contract. These are just and the bids that if you watch the process, and this is going to get to CEI here in a second. I'm going to tell you why. So these are contracts, right? So these contracts that go through, that are approved, there's really no bid. They already have their people, right? They'll try to get a good price, but the people that they work with send these people that accept these bids, that dish out the people that dish out the money, that cut the checks. Those people are well taken care of. Have you been to my place in the Hamptons? You should stay there sometime. Hey, by the way, how's that contract that bid I submitted? Right? Oh, by the way, did you see my? Have you been to my timeshare on the island of Kauai? You should go check it out sometime. I'll take care of you, no problem. There's all kinds of things that happen that shouldn't happen. These are contracts, right? And it really doesn't have anything to do. Of course, we're going to build and we're going to build bigger ships and faster planes and quicker submarines and all this other stuff. I get it, right? But who are we really fighting? Are we just fighting another military industrial complex? Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. We're not fighting the people. Like I said, the 99.9%, nobody wants a fucking war or any war. They're just like, what's an example? It's like, it's like the phone, your cell phone. Well, I've got this cell phone, but I'm going to make a bigger cell phone and a bigger cell phone and a bigger cell phone. And it's continuing and it's not stopping. But excuse me, the overall process of this is a big circle jerk, right? It's money laundering for future campaign donations or for future greasing of a politician to continue to keep that corridor, I would say, or hangar bay door, or waterfall, not tap water, not a tap, right? Or that tsunami of money continuously coming in. That money goes right back. And the way it does, it go through. I've brought this up 1,000 times ever since I started my blog talk radio in 2014, and ever since I started my YouTube channel in 20 late 2016, and I'm on my sixth, seventh, or eighth now, eighth, just because they love me here because I always tell people basically what's kind of going on, or just my perspective, my conclusions. I'm not a virologist or a doctor or the military, but I just read articles. I pay attention to some social media information, and I go on websites and look at documents. I look at documents that are shared, documents that have been stamped as completely credible, right? Which you still have to be careful of. But then I also see the perspective of, and it's not hard to do. It's not hard to get the perspective of an oligarch and how they think. First, you have to remember, I have all the money in the world and I don't really need you. I can get another one of you. I can get a billion of you. That's the number one thinking. You're expendable completely. Everybody besides them and their little society group, Illuminati, cult, satanic, whatever you want to fucking call it, because at the end of the day, they make the decisions. Yeah, whatever excuse they want to use to be assholes, whatever excuses they want to use to be sick pigs or pedophile, whatever. They still make the call. So these people, you have to understand, they love this continuation of need, and they create mass manufactured consent. Okay, Chomsky always talks, which he's become a fucking idiot chump recently. Well, I don't know if he's been on the right side from the beginning in the first place. But anyway, and that's debatable. But the thing is their main purpose when they're in their thinking is their longevity. Is how long can I hold on to the control that I have, the influence I have, the power that I have, you know, with the money and the ability to have this money. How long can I, because they know that they can all be taken away once we wake up, right? Why does this seem to be crooked here? There we go. No. There we go. That's that. Okay, that looks even. That was driving me nuts. Anyway, OCTD, whatever the fuck you call it. Yeah, so they're thinking, one, you're expendable. Two, how do I save what I have? And this is all to save them, me, right? Let's just put yourself in that position. So they've created a lot of things out there to make sure that happens. The number one process, right, 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 is to manufacture mass consent, right, for sure. And they use the media continuously for this. This is just a no-brainer. It's the media that they control to put out these narratives, right? Here's a new narrative I'm going to show you real quick that I think is really interesting. What did I do with that? Okay, right. I was just there. Alright, let's just go here instead. Go back to my favorites. Alright. Yeah, it's the new narrative that's coming out, just to continue the onslaught of craziness that's happening. And it has to do with the new threat, the power grid threat. Right? You're like, seriously? This is the way you're gonna fucking do this? It's like, come on, man. It's just so freaking obvious. What I did, I just had it in front of me. I probably got it, but I'm looking at it and it's just disappearing in front of my face. Let me see here. Right. I just freaking had this. Oh, it's further back than I thought. Oh, okay. Alrighty then. This is the part where I'll cut out when I'm just not finding what I'm supposed to be finding in all the list of the shit that I'm looking for. And it's just kind of stupid. And you're like, oh, no. Yeah. There's what I might find. Hold on. I think it's right here. No, that's not it. Notifications. Twitter. Yeah, where is it? I just had it. Stage the coup. Stage the coup d'etat. Yeah, I gotta say that one. Alright. Oh, now I'm all over the place. Shit. Alright. So what we have... Where the frick is it? This new Bologanov... Is it this guy? Oh. No. Oh, that's right. It was just some fucking dude that put it up. And then... Important warning. Issue 15 minutes. Awaken. Yeah, it was before that one. I don't know, it's just taking longer. Yeah, I can always edit this out. But I want to show what this guy was saying. I'll find it in here. Let me see. Yeah, I'm not in a hurry. Just letting you know. I should pin this to the top. Pin it to the top. Pin it to your profile. Pin. Let's get rid of this. Except when United Nations agenda says again, Peter Dish, complete total lie. Maybe it's in here. I don't think there's anybody watching anyway, so I'm just gonna do this. Go down here. Oh, there it is right here. Alright. So I got this on TikTok and I was not surprised that I'm seeing it. So I'm just going to go to it now. There we go. Alright. Oh, I have a job interview tomorrow at another corporation. Could I travel by rocket to my interview? Hey, Jordan. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of jealous. Okay. Happy Memorial Day, Mona. Yeah, happy Memorial Day to everybody else, by the way. Hopefully we can get out of these wars, bro. That's what I'd really like to see. I mean, I know the people that build these machines of mass destruction would not like that, but it's just, I'm just so over it. It's just, once you get like over 40 or 50, you're just like, it's just fucking stop. Just fucking stop. So now, meanwhile, so this is happening. DHS, Department of Homeland Security, which is filled with a bunch of fucking criminals now, like they've never been. Very concerned about the white nationalist attack on the power grid. Right? So this is the new threat. This is the new, as I'm saying, the mass formation psychosis, whatever Noam Chomsky wants, which is the manufactured consent. That's it. So it's the mass psychosis mass psychosis manufactured consent coming from the mainstream media. It's everywhere saying that they're very concerned. The Department of Homeland Security is concerned about white nationalist attacks on the power grid. Oh. Now, coming from the mainstream media, there's something nefarious here. You just know it. And then I'm saying, well, meanwhile, Pedo Joe and his Department of Homeland Security stooges are giving special ops training to illegal immigrants at newly erected military bases across the country. I wonder why they're training. I wonder what they're training them for. I wonder what they're training them for. Isn't that interesting? So if you go, and nobody wants to talk about this, but I'm gonna. There's a lady that comes on that I'm following everyone. She's been out there at the border a few times. Hopefully I can find it here. Is it right here? No. Department of Adolescent Medicine, Dallas, Texas. I think I went back too far, but maybe not. I'm still checking. Just a second.
This is Dabu7. Want to share with you here information and footage showing this 900% increase of Chinese nationals entering into the United States illegally.
Back out here in the field working on our story on the Chinese nationals that are being apprehended in this sector. Actually right behind us we have 5 Chinese nationals, all men. 91% of the Chinese nationals being apprehended in this sector are single adults. So we're working on this story and it's pretty alarming. I've been covering the border the last couple of years, but it's really alarming to see the amount of Chinese nationals that we're seeing here in this sector.
And you can see here in this footage by the busloads.
Yeah, that person, I thought, where the hell is this other lady? Damn it, I hate when that happens. But, you know, I'm kind of off the cuff most of the time. Yeah, all the time. I just kind of go, I don't really go where the wind takes me. I kind of like navigate through it and then react accordingly. That's basically what I do. But I know it's here somewhere, Hidden Valley. No, I think it's right here. So this lady comes on, and she talks about. I'm in my favorites, right? Saturday. Love our Governor Abbott. Biden signed COVID lies are funny. Jimmy Dore. I have. Where is it? Yeah, she talks about. Department of Adolescent Medicine, Dell. No. Women praying for America. No. Holy fuck, immigrants. Hope you're seeing this. This is some interesting shit on here, man. You just gotta watch all this stuff I got on here. It's fucking nuts. And I save a lot of these things because it's pretty interesting as far as the amount of craziness that's out there. And then you really got to be careful going through TikTok because some of this stuff is like from 2 years ago, 3 years ago, or even further than that. But they just put it up because it's alarming and it gets likes and it gets attention and you know. So, and I always ask when was the date? What's the location and date? Most of them never respond, so I don't take it most of it seriously. So you really got to, and that's everything: Facebook, Twitter, social media. Period. You know, chiggity, check yourself before you wreck yourself. But this lady here, and I did a Google search on where she's at or where she was at, and I was able to see the area, which is not hard to do. You just look at kind of in background, the way the mountains are shaped sometimes, or the way if there's like a big water tower facility, you can kind of pinpoint where these people are, and it's real. The little things like that, which I do. Let me see what we got here. Warning, important. Listen up. I don't know what that is. Spread positivity. National war. What the hell was that? I know it's your target is. What's this one? Is this it?
出生日期哦 ，OK OK, you're gonna write it here behind the ticket, okay? Okay. Right here. Your name and when you were born.
Name?
Name. And when you were born. Yeah, of course, not mine. I need your name. No, not in Chinese. English.
Hey man, they could bullshit and then they could get U.S. documents with a fake name and birthday.
I don't know, bro.
They could.
You know what's going on.
Dude, you got to be kidding me. I'm not saying you.
I'm not gonna tell you, and you know what's going on.
Did you hear that?
Okay, you're gonna write it here behind the ticket, okay? Okay. Right here.
These are not Hispanics. These are not from Mexico. They're not from. These are Chinese.
Okay, you're gonna write it here behind
right?
the ticket, okay?
And right now, I just want you to pay attention to this part. Now, like I said, I'm okay with workers coming in because I don't think anybody's going to do that job or pick this. I'm telling you, you can't. You think you can, you can't. Going back to my story. You cannot pick those fucking strawberries. You cannot pick those avocados or dig those ditches as fast as these people can on the terrain that they can. You want to get a machine up there to do it? Good luck. Right? It's not going to happen. Even if you got some kind of stable robot to do it, if you've seen the terrain of orange and avocado trees up in the high deserts of San Diego, some of those hills are more than 45 degrees. They're basically cliffs. And if you're not doing it right, you could get hurt. But these people, they've been doing it all their lives. It's in their family. They have farms down there they work for, but they get paid down there 2/3 less of what they get paid up here. So why not come up here during the seasons is what they do. And we're talking about Mexicans that have been doing it for a long time. And they'll come in and they'll work. And they'll make their money, send it back, and then when the season's over, they'll go back and spend time with their family, just like a trucker does driving across the country. But this is different. These are Chinese nationals, and pay attention to how they're dressed. This is recent. I think the date the guy said when I answered somewhere in here is somewhere around the 11th or 12th of this month. 12th when they came in droves, right? So then they weeded them out, and now they're asking them questions. But this is just really insane.
Okay, you're gonna write it here behind the ticket, okay?
Look at that. A Chinese man dressed the way they are. Right? And I want you to see how they're dressed. Yeah. We do know for a fact that many of these people were dropped off, and the Republicans did a study on it. They did a study. They had people check. They were able to check logs. They were flown in to the closest airports, right? To where they didn't have to fucking walk 1,000 miles or 2,000 miles. And they were transported across Mexico, right? In buses. This guy looks like he was in a fucking limousine, right? Do they look like they were trampling across, deserts at 100 degrees? No. This is the problem. This is the thing because we've made so many friends, but we do know that when you bring people in illegally, right? And just keep in mind, there were 1.5 million, over 1.5 million, that were not. There's been about 6 million people in the past year and a half, 2 years. Well, excuse me, since Biden took office, that have come in through the border, right? It's about 1 million a year, on average, in and out, for the past 10, 15 years, 20, 30, whatever, 50 years. But in the past 2 years, and then the past month, it's been like almost 1 million people, like crazy, in a month. Yeah, TikTok's fucking crazy. And so when I'm watching these people coming in here, right? First of all, they're probably asking for asylum, which you got to give them the benefit of the doubt. But this guy speaks pretty good English already, right? And most of them understand this guy. You have to be careful, right?
Okay, right here. Your name and when you were born. Name.
That guy's reaction.
And when you were born. Your name and when you were born.
That guy's like, sure, whatever. Like, and then the other guy brings up the fact that.
And when you were born. Yeah, of course, not mine. I need your name. No, not in.
Yeah, they're just playing. They're playing stupid. You could fucking tell, and they're.
And when you were born. Yeah, of course, not mine.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they're just fucking with you, dude. You're an idiot to them.
No, not in
They
Chinese.
they speak at least 5 or 6 languages fluently. So right now, you're just an idiot to them. That's what's happening. Right?
English.
Hey man, they could bullshit and then they could get U.S. documents with a fake name and birthday.
I don't know, bro.
They could.
Exactly.
You know what's going on.
Right?
They could.
You know what's going on.
You.
You know what's going on. You know what's going on.
You.
You know what's going on. You know what's going on.
You. Dude, you got to be kidding me. I'm not saying you.
I'm not gonna tell you, and you know what's going on.
Yeah, this is just a Border Patrol agent. You know what's going on. So his assumption is these people are they're infiltrating. I know there's some that are coming in, as they always do, to do the work, and maybe some of them want to be a part of the country and pay the taxes and do all that stuff. That's great. But this is an invasion. I hate to say that, but there's something happening now. Now let's go back to this article, right? Because this article clearly says, right, Department of Homeland Security very concerned about white nationalist attacks on our power grid, right? And if I go down here, Here, watch.
Of Homeland Security is warning of a potential troubling escalation in tactics from Homeland Security is warning of a potential troubling escalation in tactics from right-wing.
You guys.
Homeland Security is warning of a potential troubling escalation in tactics from right-wing.
Yeah. And this guy kind of goes over the same point that I am, but with a little more fervor. But this is the new narrative. This is the mass psychosis formation, manufactured consent, because it won everywhere. This little piece of narrative.
Homeland Security is warning of a potential troubling escalation in tactics from
right-wing nationalists, right-wing supremacists, right MAGA. Right?
Homeland Security is warning of a potential troubling escalation in tactics from right-wing.
Right. In regards to this, in regards to this stuff, which is what they're throwing out there, right? And people are biting, of course. So now people believe that the patriotic, God-fearing, loving Republican 99.9% working class, working poor, just like you, are going to destroy the power grids, right? The people that are fighting, that from my perspective are more patriotic and constitutional than Democrats, by far, right? And the reason why this country is still here is because of the Constitution, is because of people that believe in it, believe in each other, not the government, not the politics, not the bullshit most of the time, but they believe in the people, like I do, 99.9%. You know, I can cut that down to say the 99%. I'm going to just the 99%, because there are some compromised people there, of course. But this is the narrative that they're using, right? This is what they're going to do if something goes wrong. They're already laying blame. They're already setting up the pits, right? And this is all a part of the process to get you to comply, to get you to be meek, malleable, obedient, right? And you did. Some of you did. Some of you had no choice because it was your job that mandated you to take a totally indemnified, untested, right? Untested and unhealthy and completely damaging to most people if you got it or not, because it was a crapshoot the way they listed the bottles, and I'm not going to get all that. Kool-Aid that you put in your arm. Kool-Aid from Jim Jones, right? The Kool-Aid. Look it up, what the Kool-Aid means. The Kool-Aid means that, anyway, Jim Jones killed a bunch of people, made them commit mass suicide by getting them to drink Kool-Aid that they knew had poison in it, and some didn't. And many of you took it. Many of you just fucking jumped right aboard, and you're going to jump aboard this too. That's what you're going to do, and all this is money. To them, it's control. You know, it's all control. It's all money. It's all deriving from, you know, yours truly, the World Economic Forum. And I'm telling you, people continue to just not get that part, right? Right? People just aren't getting that part. They're not getting that simple, complete, and total fact, that's what's happening. But let's go to this guy. And he's, what the hell is his name? You may
the situation with Donald Trump was a big shock.
They didn't expect that to happen. That was an accident, I suppose.
Absolutely an accident.
Not part of their game plan.
It was the first time of the oligarchy system was happened an accident. Because normally the situation with Donald Trump was a big shock.
They didn't expect that to happen. That was an accident, I suppose.
Absolutely an accident.
Not part of their game plan.
It was the first time of the oligarchy system was happened an accident. Because normally have to be Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
Not Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And the process which we are dealing now with this pandemic and all these liars was supposed to be in 2016.
They were pushed into
exactly
early
in
start.
a sense to be in 2020 to be a disaster regarding food and water.
Ah, I see.
Which normally they want to arrive in 2025 now.
I see.
So the plan was a little bit changing for this reason. Of course, they will not succeed. This is clear. I mean, the system is almost down. It's, but of course, there are the last moments, and we have to have the courage now, all of us, to say no. In a sense that UN could be a fantastic, can have the fantastic role, but is not, because it's totally under control of the oligarchs. The problem is that these oligarchs.
What is this? The fucking. Who did the reiteration or the. We gotta. This is funny. It's just like, dude.
The problem is that these oligarchs, all of them, are related with the. Can have the fantastic role.
The can. No, it's can. C-A-N. Right, and then he calls them oligarchs.
But he's not, because he's totally under control.
Control of the oligarchs. He's not saying oligarchs. He's holigorks. He's saying oligarchs. Fuck. That's embarrassing.
Control of the oligarchs. The problem is that these oligarchs, all of them, are related with the. System of the pedophilia one, because we know that there are more than 8 million children per year which they disappear. 8 million does mean these oligarchs, all of them, are related with the system of the pedophilia one, because we know that there are more than 8 million children per year which they disappear. 8 million does mean the entire population of Austria. To the oligarchs, all of them are related with the system of the pedophilia one, because we know that there are more than 8 million children per year which they disappear. 8 million does mean.
Does anybody ever contemplate that? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's just astronomically insane. Astronomically insane. You know, these are the people.
The Great
right
Reset.
Here.
Now, for those of you unaware, the World Economic Forum is a priestly caste of people, mixed up of global leaders, royal families, BlackRock, the world's biggest companies, the biggest banks, the biggest pharmaceutical companies, mainstream media outlets, and the top celebrities. Pretty much a culmination of the world's most powerful people. And these are the people who create agendas and policies that are then adopted by organizations such as the UN, World Bank, IMF, and national governments. And this private organization has no democratic vote, and yet it is quite clearly one of the most powerful organizations the world has ever seen. The Great Reset. Now, for those of you unaware, the World Economic Forum is a priestly caste of people, mixed up of global leaders, royal families, BlackRock, the world's biggest companies, the biggest banks, the biggest pharmaceutical companies, mainstream media outlets, and the top celebrities. Pretty much a culmination of the world's most powerful people. And these are the people who create agendas and policies that are then adopted by organizations such as the UN, World Bank, IMF, and national governments. And this private organization has no democratic vote, and yet it is quite clearly one of the most powerful organizations the world has ever seen. The Great Reset.
Isn't that amazing? And I've got people wanting to create political parties right now. And I've got people that want to create, movements against the woke people, right? And I've got people that want to go after the trans, and go after the gays, and go after different thinkers and different religions, and it's just, it's stupid. It's stupid because many just do not get what they are about. Yes, they're a multi-level marketing platform, NGO, club of a bunch of rich people, but that's not what they are. Where you go and what you have to listen to get your funding. It goes through that funnel. Okay? And let me explain, because I just tweeted about it here. All right? I just tweeted about it right here. And I think it's important for people to understand this, because it's actually the title of what I'm talking about. It's the title of what we're talking about today. Right? Protest, revolt, call your senator, your House of Representatives, and say no CEI, no ESG, no DEI, no WEF, no WHO, no CBDC, and restrict that. That's it. That's it. This is so if you know what CEI is, but I think I went over CEI, but I'm going to go through DEI first. I know I'm all over the place. So DEI is a process of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And who created that? Who created that? Right? Who created or put together that idea? Let me show you. I'll tell you who
The Great Reset. Now, for those of you unaware, the World Economic Forum is a priestly caste of people, mixed up of global leaders, royal families, BlackRock, the world's biggest companies, the biggest banks, the biggest pharmaceutical companies, mainstream media outlets, and the top celebrities. Pretty much a culmination of the world's most powerful people. And these are the people who create agendas and policies that are then adopted by organizations. And these are the people who create agendas and policies that are then adopted by organizations such as the UN, World Bank, IMF, and national governments. And these are the people who create agendas and policies that are then adopted by organizations such as the UN, World Bank, IMF, and national government. It's most powerful people.
Yeah. They created this. Right? If you can read it. DEI. Just a day before Texas legislative season ended, state lawmakers approved a ban on offices and programs that provide diversity, because they understand this isn't helping kids. This isn't helping us. They understand that this came from these people, right? This came from these people here. That's where that came. This comes from this, right? The World Economic Forum, all these fucking think tanks, for several reasons. The biggest one is to make people stupider, right? Right? Because just because I'm Hawaiian, I should get the position, or the grant, or the funding, or the raise, right? But what does that do? What if I'm John Fetterman? So that's, you have to That's a great example. That's a great example. So what if I'm John Fetterman, okay, and I've got him talking on TikTok somewhere. I got him talking, but this man is debilitated, handicapped. He basically has no business running a position like this. The kind of people you need running a city, a town, a department, right? A country. Somebody that's strong, capable, able. Somebody that can walk, 100 yards with no problem. That's what you need. You need people that are, and that's why I'm concerned about Trump. I like Trump. I think he's good at. He got ripped off. I don't know if he knew or not. I think he fucking knew from the beginning. Just the way the things laid out, I pointed out in several videos. But he deserves his shot. I'm just surprised the reactions he's given, because I didn't see him challenge this right when it happened, because he knew there's no way in hell that some guy who had 12 people at his rallies, 12, I counted them, 12 fucking people one time at his rallies, right, when they would show and you'd hear these big roars, and somebody else was there with a camera and showed like 12, 15 people. Right, when a guy that has 20, 30, 40, 50,000 people at his rallies, who got 81,000 votes, more than Barack Obama. What? And then the whole process of 2020, when COVID came, perfect timing, right? And they started, extending the dates. Yeah, I think 70 is a cap. I think 70 should be the cap. Because I want them to be able, I think they should go through a physical. I think they should go through an unbiased, unvetted physical. And then I think it should be 72, to be honest with you. 72. Because to make sure that they're going to be able to keep the job, do the job, go up steps, go down steps, walk a ramp, because they have to be in front of other world leaders, and they can't appear weak. You can't appear weak with these. You just can't. Why is this thing sticking out here? There you go. All right. But what I'm really trying to get to, and let me get back to this, is I want people to be able to go to school based on their abilities. I want people to be able to get positions based on their knowledge. I want people to be able to get promotions based on their integrity, most of all. Their work ethic. Just, attributes, strong attributes. If that makes sense. So you want people to, if I'm going to hire somebody, right? Okay, that's important. The pipe thing is important. So you have to make sure that these people I have a company, right, let's just say. Actually did. I have a process serving company, and I had somebody else that was kind of working with me, so I wanted to make sure that person did the job. And they did a good job. But I also checked with a couple other people that said, oh, I could do that, no problem. Then they flaked. Right? And these were like friends of mine. So the person that I didn't know that had integrity, that showed up, had good work ethic, did the job. Right? Went out and served it and drove all over Southern California like I did. Served subpoenas and summonses to very happy customers. No, kidding. I'm kidding. Some of them were waiting for the paperwork, believe it or not, and some of them were just like, what am I getting? What is this for? You know, could be divorce, who knows. We didn't look at the package. We just said, we don't look at it, we just deliver. I'm just a delivery person, and I just have to, you know, make sure that I get it to you in person. And then I had people that used to answer the doors with guns and shotguns and were prepared. And I had a few people chase me off their property, and I had to jump a couple of fences. But I'm not going to get at all that. But anyway, but the biggest thing that we need to look into, right, is that why is all this happening? Where did all this come from? Where the hell did what's it called? The diversity, equity, and inclusion, along with environmental social governance, along with which one is he? Corporate Equality Index. Where did all that come from? Who was the creators of these divisive, and they sell these things as they're helping, but they're only making you weaker. You have to see the long-term effects of what these things will do, right? I want you to compete for that position. Because you're John Fetterman or because you're Katie Hobbs, just the weakest fucking candidates I've ever seen in my life run for any position. Just, you know, people that can't make it through a debate, one that didn't want a debate, that doesn't have, you know, you want people that can handle position. They're not only taking on these positions for you, right? They're representing. They're not only taking these positions for themselves. They're taking it on to represent you. That's what a politician is supposed to do. They're supposed to represent what you want, which is not the case. Which is not in any way the case these days. They're supposed to represent what you believe is necessary and needed. And let's get back to CEI. Let's get back to ESG. Let's get back to DEI, DCI. What is the other one? All these fucking things. But these were all made by the World Economic Forum. CEI, ESG, DEI. They created these for several different reasons. One, to make you stupider and weaker. Two, to make more money. Three, division. Division. Controversy, division, to create, you know, because with wokeness and DEI comes CRT and trans pole dancers and our kids in classrooms, which is disgusting and ridiculous. Those people should be in jail. If you have any, I'm starting to click away here. If you have any legislator, judiciary, executive, or department head, or board member, or city council member, you know, or school district director or something that believes in CEI, corporate equality index, or if they believe in ESG, environmental social governance, or DEI, right? Which is, I keep forgetting, diversity, equity, and inclusion. All right, they need to go. They need to go. They're part of the problem, and they need to be incarcerated for causing such ridiculous craziness throughout the everywhere. You know, if you have a teacher or a faculty member or whatever that takes their kids or allows a grown man, a hairy, grown, disgusting man, paint up as a clown and come in and sling his fucking junk around in front of your kids' faces, you need to go to jail. You need to go to jail. Yeah, I'm going to get into that. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah. So, those people that allow this type of behavior and all of this happening doesn't help anybody. It only makes us weaker. It makes us more divisive, right? Those are the negatives I'm talking about. And it basically destroys and just ruins the thinking of children. I mean, imagine these children's psyche now. You've basically just fucking traumatized them. You dumb motherfucking teachers. Not you, Snark, there's just some stupid fucking teachers out there. You know what I'm talking about. That just allowed this to happen, right? You just allowed somebody that came in with a ball in his mouth and a dog mask on, with leathers and spikes and being led around like a puppy dog, BDSM, to appear in front of your toddler. What the fuck? You need to go to jail. But I'm going to tell you, you might get off because basically there's a reason why this is being pushed. And I put this in one of my videos a while back. Look, the hardest thing to get to people, right, is to get them to understand, come on, machine, fuck, it's taking forever, is to get them to understand what is going on. Right? I hope. There we go. It's to get them to understand what to do and how to do it and what's going on, or get them to know it. So I say, because you're going to find out, right? You're going to find out. I don't know why that music came on there. That's fucking just what the music. It's stupid. They just offer like a music that you should use or whatever's trending. You're like, fuck yeah, I don't want to use your music. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So the question that needs to be asked over and over again is who exactly is organizing, allowing, and authorizing these PGI, that's what they are, pedo-groomer attacks on your children. These are pedophile grooming attacks on your children. That's what these are. Right? But who's allowing it? Go up the chain of command and say, keep going up. Well, it was Principal. Okay, well then who? Principal Smith? Who fucking told you to do it? Who said there was who said you should do that? Well, it was told by the board. Well, who in the board gave you those directions? It was Phillips, Mrs. Phillips, the board director. Okay, Miss Phillips, who asked you to do that? Who was the person that told you it's okay, you should do that? What's your motivation for doing it? Well, it came from a legislator, it came from a judiciary executive, a department head, somebody up at the chain of command, right? Or somebody that provides our funding, right? Which you then find out that it came from you know who. It comes from the World Economic Forum, right? Where did that music come from? It all comes from the World Economic Forum. Okay, because they introduced it at Davos meetings. What does the Corporate Equality Index and the World Economic Forum have in common? With Kelly Robinson, she's with the Human Rights Campaign, which is, this sticker I've had on one of my trucks, I think, in the past, I'm all for gay rights or whatever. That's up to you, that's fine. Just when you start bringing that shit around my kids or babies or children, that's when you're kind of crossing the line completely, right? You want to follow, as a trans man, you want to follow my daughter into a fucking bathroom? right? Yeah, I'm going to fucking curb stomp you. That's what's going to happen. Okay, so come on. And then Alphonso David was also part of that. But also Planned Parenthood. Okay? And there's more on that. I'll just tell you Planned Parenthood was strategically placed in mostly black and low-income communities. Did they have a Planned Parenthood in the Hamptons? No. Okay? Do you see a Planned Parenthood in Newport Coast? Okay? Corona Del Mar? That's in sunny Southern California. This is where Dean Koontz's house. Dean Koontz. Damn it. He has a freaking. He has a 30 whatever $1 million house in Newport Coast. Bill Gates has a $42 million villa at sea level, 20 yards away from where the ocean hits the shore. You can literally throw a rock into the ocean from his front door or out of his back patio. But this is the same guy that's saying global warming's here, and 10 years ago that all the fucking that same door or that same patio that was at sea level, right, should have been underwater 10 years ago or now, from his prediction or his saying 10 years ago. But what's happening is, as I've said, the trans-pedo grooming divisive narrative and this depopulation crap are not organic or accidental. None of this. Nobody talked about this shit. Hey, you know what I want to talk about today? You know what I feel like doing today? I think we need to get people to bring some 42-year-old men that are completely that are just the grossest thing you've ever seen, because they're completely, I don't know, I want to say the most unfit specimens, and I want them to wear thongs and go in and wear straps and put gag balls in their mouth. We need to do that for the kids. That's what we need to do. No, nobody fucking just said, hey, let's do that today. No, this is all organic. This is all planned. And this is where the funding comes in. This is where this is the biggest part of this, and mark this down. That when it comes to all these things, right? When it comes to, God damn it. When it comes to corporate equality index, when it comes to environmental social governance, when it comes into God damn it, diversity, equity, and inclusion, okay? When it comes, it's all connected and derived and created through the World Economic Forum. When it comes to central bank digital currency, or getting rid of the dollar, right? To go full digital, so you have a handful of people that have control over all the money on the planet. Handful of people dictating where they're going to put this zero or that one, or this zero or that one, where they can take it or bring it back or hold it or restrict it based on your carbon footprint, because your ESG score sucks, right? Because you're not doing your DEI correctly, because you're not implementing enough CEI. This is how this is working. This is where the donations come from. Let me just show you again. Okay, I'm going to show you again how the fucking World Economic fucking Forum works. All right? Go back to favorites. Go back to right here.
The Great Reset. Now, for those of you unaware, the World Economic Forum is a priestly caste of people, mixed up of global leaders, royal families, BlackRock, the world's biggest companies, the biggest banks, leaders, royal families, BlackRock, the world's biggest companies, the biggest banks, the biggest pharmaceutical companies, mainstream media leaders, royal families, BlackRock, the world's biggest companies, the biggest banks, the biggest pharmaceutical companies, mainstream media outlets, and the top celebrities. Pretty much a culmination of...
Wow. You're getting this now, right? These are the people that dictate these things. These are the people that make this happen. This is the reason why you got people that are fucking alarmed and pissed off, right? Like, let me give an example here. This lady here, she's just really pissed off, right? And I get it. No, I get it. Right, and here's right, this guy right here.
Justin, Washington passes bill allowing children to legally be taken from parents if parents don't consent to gender transitioning their children. Their children, not the state's children. Just wanted to remind everyone that Democrats are insane. Every Democrat runs out there like, I'm a moderate, elect me. And then this is what happens. There are no moderate Democrats anymore. Every moderate Democrat has become a Republican. Why? Because Democrats are insane. You have to be insane to be a modern day Democrat. If you're living in one of these Democrat hellhole states, move out. Justin.
Okay. So, you know Washington is mostly blue. So I'm going to let you know that for sure the people that are definitely in and part of this, that have sold into this completely, have sold into the CEI, the ESG, the DEI, the World Economic Forum, the World Health Organization Pandemic Treaty, the Central Bank Digital Currency, and the Restrict Act is the Democrats. They're all in. They're all in. They've been a part of this for much longer than I thought. And I've been fooled. And many others. Right? They've been a part of this agenda for a long fucking time. And the problem is they just showed their cards. Okay? I'm going to repeat that. This is showing, they just showed their cards completely. They just showed their cards completely. They just completely showed their cards on who they really are and what they're really about. And when you go back to what I was talking about earlier, right, this little nugget of information that came out, and if you've seen what they've been doing on mainstream media for a long time, right, and all these corporations that own these media companies, I mean, this narrative, very concerned about the white nationalists attacking power grids, that's everywhere. That wasn't just on CBS News. That was fucking on papers. That was on magazines. That's within the past, like, 48 hours. This is their new narrative. And they want to blame, they're going to blame the MAGA, they're going to blame the white supremacy, I don't even know what those people are. Yeah, I'm sure there are some fucking white people out there that hate everybody, just like there's black people out there that hate everybody. Right? But there are people out there that understand and know that this mass formation psychosis consent program that they're trying to get from everybody, the masses, isn't going to work this time. It's not going to work. None of this stuff is working. It's all failing. It's working with a lot of Democrats. I mean, the way they sell it and market it on the mainstream media and CNN. But you bring this to light. You have to talk about this. You have to talk about these facts. You have to talk about the fact that CEI, ESG, DEI, the World Economic Forum, the WHO, the CBDC, and the Restrict Act is all a part of the World Economic, and they're all integrated. You know, not to mention Chatham House, Council on Foreign Relations, Trilateral people, Bilderberg, G7, G20, they're all fucking in on this. And the thing is they have to cooperate. These corporations, Target had to cooperate with this so they wouldn't get the funding or the needed backing or thing. Ford was instructed to do these things. Do you think they just organically say, hey, you know what, guys? Let's go make a fucking pedo groomer truck. Right? Let's go make a petter groomer truck today. No. These are indexes they have to follow. These companies have to follow these directions, and these, not just these companies, these politicians have to follow these directions. Kevin McCarthy's doing it. Even Laura Boebert has to follow a thin line. Trust me. Right? All the Democrats are fucking just are sucking on this line, which is, if you understand what I'm saying, they're probably the most meek and malleable and obedient fuckers I've ever seen. The rhinos, definitely. Mitch McConnell, fucking Romney, Kennedy is one of them. Don't say he's not, because he is. He's one of the ones that came in and said, "Don't release the January 6th footage, Tucker Carlson." Fuck you. Right? And Kevin McCarthy said he was going to bring out the the January 6th videos. Oh, I'm going to release them to the public. Still waiting, bro. We're still sleeping. Still waiting. Right? We're still waiting on that, and it's still not happening. So I don't know what you're talking about. Right? But a lot of this stuff is happening, and I am concerned about the board. I am concerned about a completely, amazingly intelligent, very well fit Chinese people coming into my country that love us, that just can't wait to be a part of our society. Are you kidding me? It's fucking nuts. Right? There's another one right here I want to show you. What did I fucking do with it? I just pulled this one. I thought this one was very well done. Yeah, this one was really well.
I created this personalized air filter for people that really care about the air that they breathe. At the top here are two plugs that go into your nose that filter the air coming in. There's holes in the bottom of it. I created this personalized air filter for people that really care about the air that they breathe. At the top here are two plugs that go into your nose that filter the air coming in. There's holes in the bottom of it, and when you open it, there's a little filter on the inside that can be exchanged out. Breaths of fresh air. In the future, with one purchase of one of these air filters, comes a free armband that says, "I'm the solution," as in I'm the solution to pollution. Is there a problem right now? According to the EPA, roughly 82% of greenhouse gases is contributed by carbon dioxide. We, as humans, exhale carbon dioxide. So I think to help the planet a little bit better is getting rid of about 5-6 million people. And the people that still don't believe that air pollution is a problem, what we can do is gather those people up, put them inside of little rooms, and fill it with the toxic greenhouse gases to give them kind of a feel of, what it's like to breathe in that gas. And then they'll want to join us for sure. And if they don't want to do it, we'll do it by force if necessary. We start with Poland, and then we get up to...
Is that fucking hilarious or what? This is about 2 years old. The kid that's done that, I can't believe I found it. Staying in character. I gotta find out if he's done some more shit. But that is fucking hilarious. And that's where we're at. I don't care what you say. If you ever say, okay, I just want you to watch this guy, and then you'll understand how important that one is. Okay, I'm just saying. This is good. All right, so you watch that. I think what you should do is you should watch this one, right? All right, that's Klaus Schwab. That's him. All right, I think I got a few with Klaus Schwab on here because that's the guy we need to be following into the next century. Right? That's the person we need to be following for sure. And then I say, all right. What did I do with that one? Oh, that was fucking hilarious. Hilarious. Oh, hey, here's a picture.
We always say they when discussing these agendas, but who are they? And what kind of influence do they actually have? They are in plain sight at events such as the Paris Air Show, the state opening of Parliament, and the swearing-in ceremony of the United States President. The U.S. government is literally at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to the pecking order. So let's start at the very top, and then we'll trickle down to the NGOs and other clandestine agencies and organizations that refer to the top for approval.
So baby, do it right, do me right. We can...
Okay. Some of the music's kind of cool. Do me Yeah, so this lady goes
wokeness. How stupid do you have to be to actually think government, corporation, Hollywood, big tech give a one single rap about you? Wokeness is a means to a dystopian, sanitized homogeneity, and it is a Trojan horse for the ultimate domination of our personal freedoms and sovereignty. If you participate in wokeness, you, my friend, are a fool. You're all full of shit. Martha's Vineyard thing was, we love all, everybody's great, collectivism. Okay, well, cool. Well, we're gonna send you a bunch of immigrants, and maybe you could put them in your house. Oh, no. I'm gonna need you to put them on a bus and get him the out of my neighborhood. That was the best thing I've ever seen. All bullshit, and the moment reality smacks you upside the little head, you ain't gonna be woke anymore, my friend. I too used to be woke. Then I grew up, and I used my brain, and I realized it's all a scam. Can't save everybody.
Yeah, a lot of that's correct, but she's kind of feeding into the frenzy and the fire and the division. I think the important thing you need to take out what she said was just, it's all a scam. It's all a fucking scam for sure. And I should have something on fucking Klaus Schwab in here somewhere. Here he is.
Of the World Economic Forum, a very cordial welcome to the 2023 annual meeting. We are coming together under the motto, Cooperation in a Fragmented World. At the beginning of this year, we are confronted with unprecedented and multiple challenges. First, our global economy is undergoing deep transformation. The energy transition, the consequences of COVID, the reshaping of supply chains are all serving as catalytic forces for the economic transformation. And the hotspots of this transition, the consequences of COVID, the reshaping of supply chains, the energy transition, the consequences of COVID, the reshaping of supply chains are all serving as catalytic forces for the economic transformation. And the hotspots of this geo-economic remodeling are high inflation, increasing interest rates, and growing national debt. This is particularly hurting low and middle income groups. It is exacerbating societal fragmentation. Second, the geopolitical system is also undergoing deep systemic transformation. Internationally, we are moving to what some people would call a messy patchwork of powers. There are superpowers, emerging powers, middle powers, regional powers, rogue states, and also large corporate and social media powers all competing increasingly for power and influence. As a result, the trend is again moving towards increased fragmentation and confrontation. Thirdly, our generation has reached a turning point, confronted by truly existential problems: climate change, exploitation of nature, nuclear possible incidents, or even worse, extreme poverty and viruses. They all can lead to an extinction of large parts of our global population. And we have seen how much dealing with those risks, such as COVID or global warming, extreme poverty and viruses, they all can lead to an extinction, extreme poverty and viruses. They all can lead to an extinction, extreme poverty and viruses. They all can lead to an extinction, extreme poverty and viruses. They all can lead to an extinction.
Some people, and Biden's done this a lot, is they'll say what they could be reading. They could be reading, the script, right? But their mind wants to tell the truth. And I'm going to go through the rest. I just want to hear the rest of it. But it's almost over.
Of large parts of our global population. And we have seen how much dealing with those risks, such as COVID or global warming, have again fragmented populations. And finally, the fourth industrial revolution offers us tremendous opportunities, but at the same time, technologies as computing, quantum computing, blockchain, genetics, and so on, they also could create deep societal fragmentation. We have the ability to collaboratively build a more peaceful, resilient, inclusive, and sustainable world. But to do so, we need to overcome the most critical fragmentation. And the most critical fragmentation is between those who take a constructive attitude and those who are of the World Economic.
Yeah, so they didn't do the whole thing, but that's the guy that is the Don Draper madman. He's, I'm sure in whatever language he is, whether it's Polish or German or Nazi language, I'm not sure. I'm sure he sounds much more eloquent, right? But he speaks, probably several languages. I would say at least 5 or 6 fluently. And you have to do that to be able to get out to the people. So they're picking a person that can do these things. He's following the orders. He's one of Kissinger's lackeys, which you can read up on regards to, like Whitney Webb did a big story about that. Just great information. Find out there's a connection to all this. I think it's important for people to understand that it's not their fault. Some of them, they're only doing what they feel they're supposed to be doing, and this is what we're not supposed to be doing. Okay, I'm going to show you what you're not supposed to be doing. I'm going to show it to you again, over and over, and it's the title. It's the title here of this of my show, of my content. There it is. That is it. That's what it is. It is that one? No, that's not. Yeah. There. That's it right there. Right? CEI, ESG, DEI, World Economic Forum, WHO, CBDC, and the Restrict Act. This is what needs to go, and that's it. If your candidate says fuck that crap, I'm not doing it, and I commit to it, that's the person you want. That's the person you want, right? Now, of course, you got to check their background and see if they are just saying it to get elected, because that's the way it works these days. But it doesn't matter, because they're going to rig the next one. We've already been warned, and we've been told that they're going to rig the next one. I don't even know what Trump is doing. If Trump was smart, he'd be doing what I'm doing. He'd be telling people to get up, get out, protest, and say fuck this shit. Pull a Sri Lanka, pull a France. France has an average of 9 million people per day out on the streets. And how many people do we have? 0. Because what's happening with us, and this is why mass formation psychosis, manufacturing consent process works, is it's very methodical. You don't even know it's coming. For example, I've surfed a tsunami before. Okay? And a tsunami is not what people think. It's not a giant tidal wave sometimes. It's just a mass of water. And the mass of water could be a few miles long or 100 miles long. But that mass of water at its peak will be higher than the regular formation of water, or at its normal level. Right? And you won't notice that it's getting worse and worse and worse until it's over. Just like the boiling frog in a pot of water. You just turn it on, and you can do this now. You just turn it on. It gets warmer and warmer and warmer, and all of a sudden it gets so warm and so nice that they just can't get out. They're done. They're cooked. That's what's happening to people now, because they're not out there protesting. They don't know how bad this is. This is the most horrific crap that I've ever seen in my life in regards to what's happening. This is what is happening now to our country. There's nothing that's going to compare to this. There's nothing that's going to, the next phase is going to be aliens, right? They're going to blame the Trumpers for people that believe in the United States of America and the people. I believe in the people, the 99%. I don't believe in the government, right? I mean, I believe in parts of this, like a city government, a state government. They've helped greatly, right? But the federal government, they're all criminals now, like full-on fucking criminals. There isn't a Department of Justice right now. There isn't. CIA has been compromised a long time ago. FBI has been compromised for who knows how long. You guys remember Loretta Lynch, Tarmac? All right, good night, Snart. Thanks for paying attention. I'm going to go, me too, I'm just about to wrap it up. Right? So that's why you need to get off your butt, get out, and go, right? For sure, right? Go for sure. Oh, I got to change this. Just go here. That's it. That's all you got to do. You go here. It explains what you're doing and what you need to do and how you need to do it. It's recommendations. It's like a guidebook. Like, like you're out on a trail, or it's a hiking guidebook, right? And you don't have to follow it. You don't have to read the directions. It's like if you want to put the furniture together your way, do it. If you want to go to IKEA and try to put that shit together without reading the instructions, fine. If you have your own set of instructions, fine. If you have your own power tools or however you want to do it, do it. But from my perspective and many others that understand, there's a way to do this to where you're not liable. And anybody else that does anything in that circle when you're out there protesting that compromises you by doing something stupid doesn't hold you responsible because you're not in the same group. Your individual rights are above all. Just, you've got to remember that. Your God-given, universal given, maritime law given rights are more important, right? And your constitutional rights are more important than anything out there, that they'll throw at you. Do what you can to protect them. That's what's happening now, right? So protest now. And if you go through it, it just kind of shows you where you need to go, how you need to do, why, what's going on. It's just a few things. It's work in progress. It's kind of conjumbled together. But the best thing you can do is remember you are taking the action to protest and or revolt solely and completely on your own as an individual, and have done your own research, checked your own sources, and made this choice or decision on your own accord to bring attention to the World Economic Forum's tyrannical, dystopian, authoritarian global agenda so that others will unite to stop them. Okay, you have an individual rights. There is no point person or contact person to meet. So if a reporter or somebody that from a newspaper comes up, hey, I'm with the something Times or whatever, what group are you with? I'm here on my own. And they'll probably walk away. They want to connect you to something. Are you here with Trump? Guaranteed that's going to happen. Guaranteed that's going to happen. And once you say you're with a group, you've lost your individual rights. I know that's hard for people to wrap their heads around that. But I'm with all these people, we're all here. No, you're doing this on your own accord. So if you start by saying, I'm doing this individually on my own, based on my own information, and who I vote for is really none of your business, right? And it's really what I'm doing is just trying to bring attention, and you've done it. And if everybody is in the same boat, right, then they probably won't question you. But at least the attention has been made, and they'll understand. And then they'll get it, and they'll go, that's weird. They're all there individually on their own. They wouldn't say they were with like a Trump or Democrat or Libertarian. They wouldn't say. I wonder why. Because then you're easily compromised. Then you've opened the door. Then you've opened the freaking hangar bay door. Well, hangar bay door is a big fucking door. You gotta understand this. Nobody's getting this. But shouldn't we go there together as a group and one label? No. You're going there on your. You're going there as an individual because you have individual rights. You have constitutional individual rights. You have maritime constitutional rights. You have universal law rights, individual rights. You have God-given rights. You have all these rights. You're a fucking human being. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Right? Basically, let's just throw that on the table. But the reason why you're doing this is because the World Economic Forum is the hub. That's the Amway. That's where everybody gets their orders from. That's where these sickos, these pedophiles, these narcissists, these tyrannical, authoritarian, dystopian, sicko fucks are making decisions for you. Right? All these people that want the CEI, the DEI, the ESG, the World WHO, the CBDC, right? It's through the World Economic Forum. I don't know what else to fucking tell you. If you want to start a party or do something like that, good luck. MMP, the Tea Party compromise. Black Lives Matter to compromise, right? Oath Keepers even was compromised. Many have been compromised, right? If you individually go out there, then it's just you. And they can't get all of you, can they? But they can take you down in a group easily. They can black label your group. But once you say, I'm here on my own accord, World Economic Forum is the worst thing that anybody should listen to or be a part of. And anybody that is, I'm committing that they not be elected, they not have any representation, and that if they do support CEI and all the things I'm listing, then they're not worth our time and shouldn't be here. However, whatever nomenclature or abbreviations they change this shit to, the World Economic Forum is and must be eliminated and disbanded. And everything they're connected to. BlackRock should not have all this money and all this power. This should be spread out throughout the world. There's just too many players that are just too big, right? And now they want it all. Once CBDC goes into effect, if it does, and hopefully it doesn't, hopefully we'll get some people to pull their freaking heads out of their asses, then you've lost all your, that's pretty much the nail in the coffin. Yeah, well, we should, the Mauna Aloha Party, well, there's some people working on some stuff out there, but they've got to go after the rigged system first. It's ridiculous to start good idea though, but it's kind of not a good time to start a party when it's not going to matter if you're in a party or not after the CBDC goes into effect. The central bank digital currency system goes into effect, because then it doesn't matter what you say. They can carbon tax you to death. They can make up shit. They can just take away all your money. Take it all. So I'm going to say, do what you can, but get out there and protest. No more ESG, no more DEI, no more DIE or whatever the fuck they got. And get out of the World Pandemic the WHO Pandemic Treaty. Get out of stop the Restrict Act or anything close to it. Yeah, the NDAA needs to be rolled back. People need to have the ability to represent themselves in a court of law. Habeas corpus taken out. How is that? How is that the worst thing that could ever happen to the integrity of our country, by taking out habeas corpus for somebody that's seen as a terrorist? I mean, that could be anybody. I could be seen as a terrorist. Oh, that guy's a terrorist because he doesn't fucking worship the World Economic Forum. That's it. That's it. And then ding my pay and all that. CBDC. I hope you guys are getting this. It's individual rights. Individual. It's you. You're the most powerful thing as an individual that you'll ever know. Just gotta remember that. Gotta remember that. I'm here because of me. I'm here because of me. I'm protesting because of me, because I see all this shit. I don't want it. And I will not support a candidate or donate or be part or anybody that supports these things. And that's it. That's it. Now, if you do, this video is not for you. This content's not for you. If you think I'm wrong, if you think I'm wrong, then that's, then you don't have to pay attention. Some of the things make sense. It's fine. Whatever you have or what do you have to say, you're welcome to make a comment. And the thing is a lot of people comment, yeah, I'm not sure. He was, or they were trying. I'm not sure what they're doing. All I know is it's futile until you take care of what the big issue. And the big issue right now is the World Economic Forum. So I don't know. This just seems ridiculous right now to start something. Now, if you wanted to start this movement and help this movement and then maybe turn it into a party, that makes sense. You can always turn your movement into a party. And this is a good one. I've got, in the past Ever since TikTok, I've gotten thousands more hits on my website. Stop the World Economic Forum, or excuse me, stopthewf.org, or fthewef.org, or stoptheglobalist.org, or partyexodus.org, or nonpartyvoters.org, which I don't think that word's around anymore. But anyway, it's all linked to the same. Stopthewho.info, also linked to it. Yeah, but that could lead. A platform like this could lead to maybe a party if that's all fixed. If we go back and everything's, transparent. There's no more Dominion machines. Everybody's fine, right? There's no electronic crap anymore. It's all paper, right? Recyclable paper. Then I think we'll be okay. But right now, it's too easy to rig. It's very too. Kerry Lake and Katie Hobbs, Arizona governor race is the biggest. It's not the biggest indicator, but it's one of the most recent. Trump losing or being Trump's loss, and I don't want to say loss, but Trump, that wasn't a loss. That was thievery. That was basically just people coming in and stealing votes, manipulating votes, trashing ballots. We saw it. They would not allow the public to watch them count the votes, or even just to move a box. There were places where they were pitting everywhere. All they were doing is just moving box to another place. They wouldn't people see that. That needs to be in a fucking stadium for everybody to watch. That's where the voting machines should go. That's where all the information should go. That should be, instead of the fucking, that's where it should be. That is where the voting should happen and be counted and be tabulated. So everybody can come in, get a bag of popcorn, right? Get a bag of popcorn and watch the process. 50 to 100,000 people, for free on that day, just watching. Maybe there's signs up and they're seeing the process, making an event, right? People cheering, peacefully. That would be fucking epic. Oh my God, I think I just created something. I'm gonna look at that in the future, right? It's called the Voting Coliseum, right? Or the Political Coliseum, or something like that. I'm gonna go buy that domain name. All right. Yeah, if I hear one, I usually buy them. If I think it's smart, it's gonna work, but it has to be done right. So yeah, so this process that I'm doing, we could be a part of a group of people that came together that decided to fight against the World Economic Forum. And then after things were settled down and the process is back and Dominion machines are no longer there and it's all paper, recyclable paper, collected, and it's going to be tabulated properly and it's more transparent to the world, to the people, to the voters and the constituents and all that. Yeah, then we could actually create off of this platform a party, call it maybe the Sparkling Party or the Ruby Party or the Tsunami Party. Ooh, I like that one, right? Maybe the Emerald Party or something like that. Who knows? Yeah, good platform to start from. People that help change and save the lives of billions. Not a bad idea. All right, I'm going to get going, closing on that. Very valuable point. Remember, none of this crap, okay? And the crap I'm talking about, it's hard for me to leave sometimes. No, call your legislator, call your judiciary, call your executive, call your Senate, your House representative, right, your department head or whoever, and call this number 202-224-3121. That number again is 202-224-3121. And tell them no more CEI, no more ESG, no more DEI. No more pandemic treaty. Don't even think about taking away the dollar and putting in CBDC, and get the fuck away from the Restrict Act. And you need to roll back and bring back habeas corpus to everybody. Most of all, fuck the World Economic Forum. Stop the WEF. For sure. Stop the WEF. Right. And if everybody jumps aboard, I think we can really stop these people. But we have to keep letting them know. That's why I keep pounding the fucking, I keep pounding this away at people, because finally they'll get it. Sometimes it takes impressions. That's what marketing is. Aloha. Thank you for being here. Mahalo.